everyone, welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you are new. If you are new, my name is Shannon. I do all sorts of videos here on this channel, including kind of motherhood, pregnancy now, and just general lifestyle things. I also have a couple of Disney vlog series and a little bit of like home reno stuff hopefully coming soon too. But for today's video I am doing a first trimester Q&A. I've literally just had my dating scan today actually, and they dated me at 14 weeks exactly, so I am in my second trimester now. But I recently announced on Instagram that I am pregnant, and yeah, I asked if anyone had any questions, and quite a lot of my lovely friends and followers over there did. I'm sitting down today to answer some of those. A lot of them were similar, so I won't answer every single one because there was quite a lot, but I guess I'll kind of choose ones that were like most asked and things. I think I will probably end up doing a Q&A on the second trimester and potentially the third as well, as things go on. So if you want to be involved in those, then please do follow me over on Instagram. It's just at Shannon Lorraine. I will put it on the screen here. But yeah, without any more waffling, let's just get into the video and I will answer some of your questions. But do you know what? Quite a few of the questions were about guilt, and I'm quite glad because then it shows I'm not the only one that has kind of thought about this and has been feeling this way. But yeah, so for example, this one: do you feel guilty for Buzz since finding out? I'm 12 weeks pregnant with my second and I have major mum guilt. How did you know you were ready for baby number 2? I feel guilty even the thought of it. I feel really guilty to my toddler for wanting another baby. Is this normal? So there were quite a few ones about guilt, and that's just having a quick scroll, like what I've noticed. So I think it's really common to feel this way, at least going by the questions that I was asked and also how I've been feeling. So guilt was certainly like a massive thing in my head, and it's funny because sometimes you don't really realize you're going to feel a way until you're in that moment and you're like, oh gosh, what is this feeling? Like, why am I feeling like this? And yeah, I did feel guilty. I don't anymore, I don't think. My guilt, I feel like as I get nearer to, you know, actually giving birth and having a second baby, I feel like maybe the guilt will step up again. But at the moment I feel okay, and I feel like I'm giving Buzz like a best friend, whether it's a little boy or a little girl. He's gonna have a new pal to play with, and yeah, like I just think what a fabulous gift. Like, oh, it just makes me so happy that he's gonna have someone to play with and yeah, like grow up with. Like, to grow our family is such a blessing, and I just think like we've always wanted more than one, and yeah, like I don't feel bad that he's not going to have the same love and attention, because he will. It will just be different. Like everyone says, don't they, like you don't split your heart doubles in size or whatever. Like, and I truly believe that, and yeah, I'm just really excited for this next chapter. So the guilt I have been feeling though is more in terms of, in the first trimester I've been so poorly so much of the time and so low on energy, and just, yeah, we've not been out the house as much as we normally would. We've missed a lot of play groups, we've missed a lot of things that we would normally go and do. We've cancelled play dates and all sorts because I've been too like sick to go. So we've had a lot of days in, and I have felt so guilty about that. Like, as much as I try and set up like fun activities or whatever else, a lot of the time he ends up just playing with his cars, which is his favourite thing to do. But I look at him, like I'll be laying there like, oh, feeling ill, looking at him like thinking he's just playing with his cars, like, and worrying that he's not getting what he needs. I am grateful that he goes to nursery 2 mornings a week, because then at least I know he's getting like real dedicated playtime and like loads of variation of things. And yeah, that has been real guilt, because I've just felt like I've not been like the mum I want to be in that time. But given the situation, I've done my best and I'm trying to not be horrible to myself, because yeah, there's no time for that. But no, that is definitely something I felt guilty about. So I have felt guilt, but not in the way of like going from 1 to 2, but just the practicalities of feeling poorly when you've got a toddler. But I do think that will creep in probably, as like I know we're running out of time of just being me and him, because at the minute as well he's so like into me, like he wants to be on my lap or like on my chest or like on my face 24/7. Like he is so clingy and cuddly with me at the minute, that yeah, I feel like I will feel bad. But getting a little brother or sister is, you know, he's gonna love it. So yeah, be kind to yourselves and try not to stress, because ultimately you're giving them a new best friend, so don't fret about it. Next question. Do you know what, there's quite a lot of people who aren't asking questions but are saying that like they're guessing a little girl from the scan, and yeah, no one has said they're guessing a boy from the scan, I don't think. So there's quite a few that are saying girl. So I'm really excited to find out, and obviously I will share with you guys once we know. But either way, like I would love to have a little girl. I think Ollie and I would both love a little girl. But if it's a little boy, like how incredible that Buzz is gonna have a little bro like to play with. Like either way, we are so excited and we will be happy with either, obviously. But yeah, it would be like so lovely to have one of each, but it'd be so lovely to have two boys as well. So really, either way, it's just so exciting, and it's not like we get a choice, but yeah, once we know, we will let you know. Yeah, some of the questions have been, are you finding out the gender? And yes, we will be. So my 20-week scan isn't until February, and that is when you would normally find out like the gender through the NHS, but I'm hoping to do an early gender scan like privately. We've got a party for Buzz at the end of the month for his birthday, and we're gonna have like loads of friends and family there, and I just feel like it'd be really nice if we could like announce the gender there, like maybe do like a little reveal, or I don't know. Ollie and I need to like agree on what we want to do about it, but potentially we'll know at the end of January, but I will let you know. So many people have asked this, like just slightly differently worded, but generally the question is, how did you know you were ready for a second? And that is a really tricky one to answer, because I just don't know that you ever like know for 100% that this is the right time. And I don't know, like we knew we wanted a second. The original thought was that we would potentially start trying like around the time that we went to Disney or just after. I didn't want to be pregnant in Disney World because it's a really expensive holiday, and I wanted to be able to like not be feeling sick and to be able to go on things. So yeah, we had planned after, but then when we got to that time, which was May, we were like, we just don't feel ready yet. Like I personally felt like I hadn't had enough time of being just me. I don't know, I feel like you give a lot of yourself when you become a mum. You, like I personally kind of, you feel like you've got to learn yourself again, and like my personality just became mum, and it is like still mum. Like me and my friends talk about this all the time, like I don't know what I used to talk about before I was a mum. Like it does just take over, and I do think it's really important to not have just that as your personality. I think it's really important to have your own interests still, and you know, to have your own time. And I don't know, but when it got to May, we'd not long moved house, and we didn't just move house, we moved to a whole brand new area where we don't know anyone, and so yeah, it just wasn't, we just didn't feel ready yet. But skip forward a few months into like October time, and we were like, maybe we would start to feel ready to start trying soon. And yeah, like we just did, and we're very fortunate, which I spoke about in my first trimester vlog, so I won't go into it too much, but yeah, it happened and here we are. And do you know what? The night I found out, I'm not gonna lie to you, like I was excited, but I was a little bit panicked, like, oh my gosh, this happened a lot quicker than I had thought, and were we actually truly ready for two, like financially and just in terms of like practicalities, like what age will Buzz be? And I don't know, I was just, I think just a bit like overwhelmed by emotion, and in no way did I like think we've made a mistake or anything like that, but I think it's very natural to go through the motions of like, oh my gosh, this is real, like what are we gonna do kind of thing. But the next day I kind of had like slept on it, and yeah, I just think it's one of those things that the time is never going to be 100% right, and maybe it is for some people, but I don't feel like everything's always going to be like exactly perfect, exactly how you need it to be in your head to start trying for a baby, whether it's your first or your second or whatever the situation. But you make it work, and as long as you feel ready, like, and I don't know, I felt like I'd kind of felt like me again. My mental health's in a good place, and work's in a good place, and like I kind of feel like I found my feet here, I've made some friends, and you know, like it just felt like the right time. And also you just don't know how long it's going to take, so for us we'd heard that sometimes it can take quite a bit longer for a second baby, so we kind of had that in our minds as well. And yeah, I wish I could say a definite answer of when it was the best time, but I think you'll kind of figure it out yourself, and whenever it happens, you'll make it work. How have you coped with a toddler and first trimester symptoms? I've kind of touched on this, not amazingly, like I've done it now, like I'm through the first trimester, and touch wood, touch wood, touch wood, touch wood, I'm through the worst of it, hopefully. But yeah, like it is rough, like, but that's just from this experience. Like if I'd had my pregnancy with Buzz, like if I'd had a repeat of how that pregnancy was, yeah, I felt sick, but like I wasn't being sick, like I wasn't physically being sick. And every pregnancy is different. Some people are not sick at all, some people are sick the whole way through. Obviously there's loads of other symptoms as well, but yeah, it has been rough. I think if you are able to rely on your village, as they say, if you have a village, I don't really have much of a village up here, but rely on the people, like lean on people. If you've got people offering to help, people offering to watch your toddler so you can have a nap, or like, you know, take the help that you're offered if you want to. But if you haven't got help, like we didn't have that, we don't have people up here, I coped, and it's fine. And as much as I said I felt guilty for the days we spent at home where he was just playing and watching probably far too much Cocomelon, he's okay, he's happy, he's, you know, he's fine. And it's in the like whole, in the whole, and really what is like a few weeks in terms of his whole life and like his whole childhood, like he won't remember that time, and it's fine, we got through it. So yeah, it is rough, it might not be for you, but it wouldn't put me off doing it, you know, like it hasn't been the worst time ever, ever, ever. And once you see the little baby like in the scan, it suddenly feels like so much more worth it. Like you kind of, that the time before you've had a scan where you're just feeling so ill and you're not getting any of the like, you're not seeing the little baby there, you're not like, I don't know, but once you see the baby and see the heartbeat and you're like, this is what it's for, like it kind of all melts away, and just like, I don't know, I hope you understand what I'm trying to say, but you will get through it. If it's something that you're worried about, you'll be okay, like, and it doesn't last forever. A lot of the questions are, how has this pregnancy kind of compared to the previous pregnancy? Yeah, how does it compare to your first? Any different from your pregnancy with Buzz? How has this pregnancy been different with Buzz? Yeah, so many of like, there's like literally probably a handful of the same questions, so I'm just going through. But yeah, pregnancy with Buzz, I, to be honest, can't remember like fully, but I did document it and I'll link it below as well. But I'm pretty sure that I felt pretty okay. I wasn't sick in the first trimester. I felt nauseous, I had sore boobs I think, and sore teeth. I had really strong cravings for like fruit and smoothies and fizzy sweets, which has been like none of that this time. Like the cravings I'll say I had, I did go through a week or two of craving fruit and like smoothies and orange juice. Like I was drinking an unhealthy amount of orange juice, and I know that's like not great for you, it's very sugary and things, but oh my gosh, I just needed orange juice. But yeah, in terms of like food, I just haven't really craved anything really. It's been more just eating what I feel like won't make me, like, make my stomach turn when I've been feeling so ill, because I get like a sickness feeling and then I know I've got like a very short period of time to quickly eat something before that makes me be sick. Like, eating something like little and often has, I found from my experience, kept the sickness away. The times where I've like felt sick and not eaten anything, that's when I've then been sick. But generally, if I manage to eat something in time, it stopped it. There's been a couple of times where that's not worked, a few, like quite a few times, but generally, yeah, so it's not really been a case of like what I've been really fancying, it's just what the thought of doesn't make me like heave. So it's been a lot of like dry crackers, and I went through like a phase of having really sorted hula hoops and breadsticks and things like that. So yeah, very beige, very bland, and very boring. Not healthy. One of the biggest questions I've been asked a lot is, will you be doing a home birth again? And yes, I would love to do a home birth again. I've not really sat down and fully discussed it with midwives yet. It's very early days, but I have put the feelers out there, and I think, again, like last time, they will advise against it because of my BMI and because of ambulance shortages and all of that. But last time that was the case, and I've had like the most incredible birth, and I know that I was so lucky, and there's no saying whether it'll go that well again, but I'd love to give it a good go. But obviously, near the time, if there's any issues that point that wouldn't be the right thing to do, then we'll obviously reevaluate. But yeah, I would absolutely love a home birth. Like, I would recommend home birth to everyone. It's literally like one of the best experiences of my life, and that isn't just from getting buzz at the end of it. Like, obviously probably everyone says like the birth of their baby was the best day ever or whatever, but genuinely, like, the actual act of giving birth I loved, and I'm really excited to do it again. A little bit nervous because I feel like I was very, very lucky, and just I can't imagine being that lucky twice, but I'm gonna hope, and I'm gonna put it out into the atmosphere and the good vibes out there, and hope that I can get that lucky again. But yeah, I'd absolutely love a home birth. Ollie would love me to have a home birth. But yeah, at the moment, my local like trust, like area, have said that you can have a home birth, but only if it's between 8 in the morning and 8 in the evening, because they don't have like an overnight home birth team at the moment. And I feel like people generally go into labour overnight, because I feel like that's when you're most relaxed. But yeah, we'll see. I'm hoping that they have an overnight team by then, but yeah, we'll see. I would love to have another home water birth. We've still got our birthing pool from before, and yeah, I would love that. Like, what a blessing it would be to have 2 incredible, relaxing, calming home births. Like, yeah, absolutely. Loads of people asking, are you going to find out the gender? And yes, like I said earlier, we definitely would love to. Yeah, I think so. I can't imagine waiting. I don't know how people wait. Like, you're stronger people than me. I'm too impatient. A couple of people asked about names, and are we thinking about names already? Do you have names in mind? Would you use names that you'd been considering for your previous, like for Buzz, that you didn't end up using? Questions like that. And honestly, we've not spoken about, well, no, we have spoken about names. We were speaking about names weirdly like the week or 2 before we fell pregnant. Like, yeah, I think subconsciously, like, we knew we were like in that place to start trying. But yeah, so a girl's name I think we're pretty set on, and we have been set on since I was looking at names for Buzz. Buzz's name we had loved for years and years and years, and had always been like our #1 top boy's name. So there was no doubt about that he was going to be Buzz. But girl's name, I was set on a girl's name since I was a child, and Ollie loved it too. But as time's gone on, like in the last few years, when it came to like our pregnancy before, like I just knew that if it was a girl, like I wouldn't have used that name. I just didn't it just wasn't the one. But we did find one that we really liked for a girl back then, and we do still really love that for a girl like now. So the only thing is back then it wasn't as popular, and it's like, I think like creeping up the popularity, you know, like when it's like the top couple of 100 names or something. It's not in the top 100, and there's absolutely nothing wrong obviously with naming your baby in the top 100. I like something like a little bit, I think for me personally, I was one of like 3 Shannons in my form group, and then there were others like in other classes, and there was just always a lot of Shannons at my age. Sorry, I've got an itchy eyelash. And yeah, like it was like, it's not the end of the world obviously, but I would just quite like to not have that if I can help it, for our little one. But yeah, who knows, we might end up choosing the most popular name ever, but for now we're pretty set on a name. Yeah, we think we quite like it, like for a girl, but then for a boy we've been looking and just nothing is like giving us the same vibes as Buzz. Like nothing is, I don't know, standing out to us yet, but we'll definitely give it a lot more thought, and especially once we know the gender. Yeah, if it's a boy we'll definitely have to get our thinking caps on, but yeah, for now it's just been like a little bit of chat, but really can't find a boy's name that we're liking at the moment. So yeah, we'll have to give that one a lot more thought. Just having a quick scroll. Sorry if I'm looking down, it's because I've got my phone here with questions, but I was just having a quick scroll through, and I think I've covered most of them. I've got a couple asking when I'm due. So like I said, I had my dating scan today, and they have dated me to be due the first week of July. But who knows, baby will come when it's ready, but around early July. So a nice early summer baby, which is exciting. Obviously a completely different time of year to when Buzz was born, which was January. Yeah, I'm grateful I'm not going to be like pregnant in the height of summer, because that does not look fun. However, I would say I like 0 out of 10 recommend being in your first trimester over Christmas, because A, it's my busiest like season at work, and I know it is for a lot of people actually, and B, like feeling sick and not wanting your Christmas dinner is pretty rubbish. But obviously so worth it. So yeah, I think I've answered like the majority of the questions. If there is anything else you would like to know and that I didn't answer, then feel free to leave a question in the comments box below, and I will try and cover that in a weekly vlog or something like that. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. I know a lot of you guys do like these pregnancy videos, but yeah, don't worry if you don't. There will be other normal videos coming in too. I don't want to just become all about pregnancy, but yeah, like I said, it is Buzz's 2nd birthday at the end of this month, and we're throwing him a little party, so I'm gonna hopefully be doing a little video about prepping that, whether that's in a weekly vlog or on its own. And yeah, like other little bits and bobs hopefully I've got coming. I know I went very quiet before Christmas and over Christmas, where I've just been feeling so poorly, and I didn't realise you guys would really notice, but I've actually had like a surprising amount of people message and be like, oh, that's why you weren't on YouTube, that's why you've been quiet on Instagram, and that's so lovely that you guys even noticed, because I absolutely didn't think you would. But yeah, I appreciate you all, and I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you very, very soon for another one. Bye guys. Mwah!